What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Thank you all for piling in. Sorry about that brief delay. I always get called right as 5 o'clock hits for work when I think I'm off. So anyway, thank you all for being patient with me. Welcome to the stream. Whew. Let me go ahead and start reading some of these comments right away, and then let's talk about what's going on now. As you can see right now, Dogecoin is sitting at maybe I can zoom in a little. Here we go. Dogecoin sitting at 24 cents. When the day was starting today, keep in mind that we were sitting right up in this area. This is the start of the 10th, right about here, right here. We had a peak of 27, almost 28 cents today. And yesterday we were at 29 cents, about to break 30. And even, the day before that on the 8th, we went up to 29.77. So we were just about to break into the 30 cent territory. And all of a sudden, just now, we went from 27. We crossed below the 200 EMA line on most time frames here, at least the shorter term time frames. If I go up to the 4 hour, you can see that we actually crossed below that as well. And as soon as we hit this point right here, 27.20, big red candle all the way down to the 200 EMA line, which was at 26 cents. And then this follow-up candle here, when it crashed below that, everyone continued to panic sell. There were a lot of stop losses set here at 26 cents, and just a massive flash sell-off all the way down to 23.50. So the thing that we should all be asking ourselves is, what in the world is going on and what caused that? Because Dogecoin is not the only one. If you go ahead and take a look at the market leader here, which is Bitcoin in the crypto space, Bitcoin is actually the one that led this move down. You can see it was near 70,000 just earlier today. It was at 69. And then, a little bit of a pullback, a bit of a move up. And then it started downtrending here and just bigger and bigger swings down. And then a massive crash right here. We went all the way down from 69 down to 66. We almost held, and then we crashed all the way down to 63. And what's concerning about this, before I go any further, what's most concerning about this is the fact that we are having weak bounces at this point. There's a lot of panic going on right now. If this was just a whale selling and it was nothing more than that, people would be saying, oh, I can buy the dip here, especially because of how bullish we obviously have been. We've had to be bullish for all of this to happen right here. And then, we slowly, stably grind all the way up to 69,000 here over the course of a couple weeks. And then we just dump in the course of a couple minutes all the way down and lose all those gains. So if this was just a whale selling off and it caused the selling pressure, then you would see a continuation of the bullish activity, as people would say, ooh, a great dip. And they would just buy this right back up and it would just be a V-shaped recovery. Instead, what we're seeing here is a bit of a dead bounce, unfortunately. So far, unfortunately, we'll see how it plays out. But you can see here, we did get a big rejection candle, but it was not enough. We did not stay up at these levels off the bounce. We hit 63, we moved up, held for a second, and now we're slowly continuing to fall right back to the bottom of that level, which means that it might not even be over yet. So then that raises the question, well, why is everybody freaking out all of a sudden? And let's get to that in just a second. What's going on, Juan? Rick, how's it going? And thank you all for hitting that like button already, and subscribe, of course. If you have not liked the stream so far, please consider doing so. It helps the algorithm and brings more people in, which is amazing. What's going on, Arat, Rafi? Inflation panic much? That could be part of it. What's going on, Lori? What the heck is going on with all the red? There's the question. Roar Nation, how's it going? Let's see. What's going on, guys? Everyone's freaking out. Understandable. Any other comments here? Playing sleepy music. Just some lo-fi. Chazmandu, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. And Chosen One, what's up? Cool. So first thing to do, anytime you see a market crash, you should, and this is just, in case this happens again, guys, here's what you should probably do. The first thing, go on Twitter and type in Bitcoin Magazine. Go to their account. Bitcoin Magazine is one of the leading Bitcoin Twitter accounts when it comes to posting news multiple times per day. Anytime something breaking happens regarding Bitcoin, that's all they cover is Bitcoin news. So you can go here and most likely figure out what's going on. All right. And so let's see, this was 19 minutes ago. Let's scroll back through. Here we had some good news 22 minutes ago, some more good news. We continue to scroll down. hedging against inflation, more good news. So that's not going to do it. So if you don't find the bad news there, then just go to type in Bitcoin and then search by latest. And here you should be able to start to see a little bit of what's going on. All right, so if we go by latest, I'm just going to scroll down until I can find an article because I lost the article I wanted to show. So let's scroll down and find what's going on here for you guys. All right, you may have seen already a hashtag Evergrande here. Let's just keep scrolling. And I'm gonna have to be right back as well. I turned the heat up by accident and I'm about to melt. Where's the articles? I know what's happening, guys, but I want to pull up the article on what's happening, if I could actually find it. Maybe this one. Sorry, bear with me. Okay, well, I can sum it up because I can't find the article and I'm about to die, so I really need to turn the air back on. But really quick, before I step away and come back, that article was just pointing out the CPI information, how people, the inflation information, that caused a bit of a drop in the market. But then there's also some more news on Evergrande, and that is part of what's going on here. Okay, so give me like 5 seconds to turn the air back on before I disintegrate. Thanks. Thank you for your patience. All right, let's go back here. Here we go. Okay. So here's the other piece of news. So I think in regards to the inflation news, the Bitcoin move is not going to be very long standing. What tends to happen is we get these reports of how the US dollar is doing, and it'll either be doing really well or it'll be doing really poor. So then we'll get a percentage, a report on how much the value of the dollar is, like up or down, whatever. That is only going to affect Bitcoin temporarily. So it might make Bitcoin dump temporarily, pull back, and then move, or it might make Bitcoin increase in value temporarily and then pull back. The thing about those reports too is they get updated pretty often. So when the inflation rate changes, the sentiment also changes. So it's not like a long-term catalyst or anything. If the news it comes in a way that is going to make Bitcoin rise, it's not going to make it rise forever. So really, it's really unimportant. But the more important news, in my opinion, is what's spreading right now, because this Evergrande situation, please keep in mind that this is what caused some massive pullbacks over the last month or two. It really, really messed up the crypto market and the stock market. And the reason for that is Evergrande in China, there was an announcement that they were, in fact, going bankrupt. The problem with that is there were a lot of large investors with a whole lot of money invested in this company that were relying, one, on the money that they had already invested and potentially, getting that back. But two, they were getting paid out in interest on their investment. And so that money that they got as interest on their investment into the company, they were using to then trade in the stock market to maintain their leveraged positions and so on and so forth. Without that income coming back to them, that interest coming back to them, they would then they would get liquidated, their positions would get liquidated, they would no longer be able to support and pay the margin, and they would no longer have enough money to sustain their positions, basically, and they'd have to close them out, which would then cause a snowball effect, because now you have all these large accounts, all these whales needing to sell, and then that causes a whole lot of selling pressure, and then the markets start to crumble. So everyone panicked when they heard this. When they heard Evergrande was in some hot water, everyone panicked because they put all those pieces together, thought 10 steps ahead, so everyone began to sell in preparation for that. Then we started to hear some more better news that there were some companies bailing out Evergrande, so on and so forth. Now, China is releasing some more FUD, spreading news here, where the real estate company Evergrande is said to be in default on a $148 million interest payment. That is a bit scary. DMSA, which invests in Evergrande bonds, has filed for bankruptcy proceedings against the company. So just more bad news going on here regarding Evergrande, and that does not look to be helping. And so that just came out not very long ago, about 30 minutes ago, and that is largely responsible for this mass selling off. We saw some whale activity already starting to kick in, and then you can see right about here, and here, some real selling pressure kicking in. Again, a little bit of the concern here is the weak bounce. I will say it's good that it's not continuing at this point, and we did stop bleeding after about 10%, 11% of a loss here, which is about 6,000. So that's good, but also what I don't like is that we are still under the 200 EMA here, even on the 1 minute time frame, which is a very short-term trading time frame here. And if we're to go up, and so we might soon, if we can get a little bit of momentum here and stop selling off, we could come back over the 1 minute 200 EMA, which will signal some of the short-term traders to buy back in. But still, going longer term, we're going to have to get back up to 66,000 here for the people that trade on a little bit longer of a time frame, a little bit more conservative, to feel comfortable getting back in. And then as far as the rest of the time frames are concerned, 66, and we actually on the 4-hour time frame have room down to 60, so we're okay there, but just keep that in mind. A couple comments here. Bitcoin pump after CPI data and then dump after, fake out move. Yeah, the thing about the move up though on Bitcoin, like, and you're right, anytime Bitcoin does go up off that information, kind of like I mentioned, it goes up, but it's always going to be temporary, right? At the same time though, there's people that are extremely bullish, and most of the market right now, I think we're in more of a bullish sentiment just across the board. Most people are expecting Bitcoin to go up to $100,000 by the end of this month, or at least by the end of the year. So they're just kind of buying into that play. So this pullback here is not very good, especially because we are already a little bit behind. If we're going to hit 98 or 100,000 by the end of the month, we've only got 20 days, which is long enough, right? Because this could honestly happen within 2 days. We could gain that whatever percentage that we need, that 40% or so. Or no, it's more than that. Tomorrow, China Gov will go public and everything will pump back again. And then China Gov wallets are even bigger now. Complete FUD. See, that I would say so to that. The only thing is China has like notoriously despised cryptocurrency. So, and they've actually like banned even holding any crypto over there at this point. Like, you can't be a miner, you can't buy things with it. Like, crypto over, and Bitcoin specifically over in China is banned. So I don't know if that's the case, but what I know they do like to do is, out of their hatred for cryptocurrency, release information that will crash our markets. So, and that is not made up by me. I have heard that from other sources. Very well-known sources have said that. So it's just me noticing a trend. Feel free, guys, to drop some comments, any questions or whatever. I just wanted to go live too, to not just discuss the news, because honestly, at the end of the day, anybody can do that, but to then look at the charts as well and answer any questions regarding technicals and where, you know, if you think the price is going to crash, where we could continue to fall to before we probably stop, or, you know, where we'll go, where we'll bounce after that, and all of that kind of information. And not too many questions, so I guess I'll go kind of right into that. So generally, the stopping point, I always say, if we're switching trajectory, the stopping point is generally going to be the 200 EMA on a larger term time frame. That is just the most obvious indicator. And then if you can look horizontally and also find levels of support and resistance right around where that 200 EMA sits, then it's really probably going to be a very strong level. Very conveniently, if we go to the 4-hour time frame, which is the most the 4-hour time frame, which is the most commonly used time frame for institutions. They typically use the 4-hour or the daily, but usually the 4-hour. Institutions in Wales, you can see that price sits right at 60,200. Now, like I said, you would want to back that up with potential horizontal support and resistance. So then we look left to right. Do we have any support resistance at right around 60,000 or so? Well, as you can see, this orange line that's been there for a long time is actually sitting right at 60,000. And that's because that was one of the key levels that we needed to break above in order to kind of confirm that we were going to maybe do a continuation of the bull run here, which started here in kind of September of 2020. And as you can see, this was the massive move up. We went from 10,000 Bitcoin all the way up to 60. We got stopped out there a couple times as resistance. We broke above it, pulled back, hit it again as resistance. And then when we finally, a couple weeks ago, or about a month ago now, when we had the continuation here after we left 29,000, the level to beat was 60,000 first and foremost, find support at 60,000, and then break out and make new highs over 64K and past 65. And so now on this pullback here, the absolute lowest point, as long as the news isn't actually really, really bad and it's not going to really freak people out, and we can kind of stay on target, the lowest that I really think Bitcoin's going to pull back to here is going to be right around that 60,000 level. And like I said, that'll be right at the support line. That's very strong. And it'll be also right at the support of the 200 EMA on the 4-hour time frame that most larger accounts use to trade. So that's a really perfect area to stop at. Now, it's not going to be 60,000 exact or 60,200 exact, most likely. So just give yourself, if you want an idea, give yourself a little bit of a window. So let's just say somewhere in this general area, give or take about $1,000 or maybe $500 is probably about where this price is going to stop, if it even falls down that far. At this point, though, you can see we've got one big rejection wick that's starting to form here on that 4-hour time frame on this big red candle. We did go all the way down to 63, but we're already back up to 64, and this 4-hour time frame candle has not even closed yet. So this could come back up, and end up closing here, and then we have like a nice setup for a green start right after that. So just a quick flash crash and then a bounce. That's very likely. Either way, let's go ahead and check out some of the other guys here and see how they reacted. Ethereum was doing its thing, sitting here making all-time highs. How sad. There was probably, you can see here from this green candle, a lot of people had just gone long. A lot of people had FOMO bought in here and were like, ooh, we're going to the moon. And then, of course, right at that moment, we get the slam here based off of that bad news, and we pull back pretty hard. So Ethereum's now down somewhere around from that all-time high here. It's down about a little less than 10%. Hasn't fallen quite as hard as Bitcoin did. Yeah, because it only fell about $300. So not quite as hard as Bitcoin did, but it still did fall. Now let's go ahead and check out Cardano. Cardano here was sitting, oh boy. Well, today it was sitting here at about, 230. And it actually fell all the way down to 193. So Cardano took quite the hit today, because that move there is larger than 10%. That is actually, because 10% would have been 23 cents. And that would have meant that we stopped at $2.10, which was right about here. Right, but then we fell a whole nother almost 10 cents. So Cardano actually fell somewhere near 20% today. And that's from where it was just sitting not very long ago. So that's a little bit concerning. But it has bounced back. Now it's only about 10% down. So not quite as bad. Let's see. So Lori says, trying not to panic. So Mariano, when should we go shopping? There we go. When should we start to buy back in? When is a good buy back in opportunity? If you sold any, or if you have still a good amount of money on the sidelines and you were looking for a dip, I will say that this, as long as the Bitcoin, as long as the news with Evergrande doesn't continue to spread more and more and more FUD, and we see a whole lot of people start to panic, now is probably a good time to start looking to buy the dip. Because like I said, you can already see the massive rejection wicks on all these candles. Dogecoin, for example, fell all the way down to 2380, and now it's already back up to 25. And you can see that rejection wick there. I would feel pretty comfortable putting a little bit of money in here and just waiting, because worst case scenario, I still bought a dip, but then the dip kept dipping. But I would also like to keep a little bit of money on the side just in case after this little bounce up, it doesn't quite hold and then we come back down, because that's also a possibility. I don't know how everybody's going to react to this, so generally I have a bit of a better idea, and I'll say, oh, it's definitely not going down further, or it's definitely going to go up. This one, I don't think it's going to go down further, but I'm not quite so positive this time. So I would just play it safe. Honestly, now would be a good time to go shopping and buy some discounts on Dogecoin and on Cardano, because it's really close to that $2 mark. We already start to leave it, and we were heading towards $2.50 just as of this morning. So now we're back at 2. We got a nice little flush. Now it's probably a good time to buy some dips while we have like 10% off. But please do not like all in buy the bottom here, because it could continue to pull back, and it would be a good idea to have some more in case it goes back down to near 24, 23, 22, or if for some reason Bitcoin continues to do a deeper pullback into the very high 50s, and that would probably get us back near 20 cents Dogecoin, which is kind of that sweet spot. How much do I charge for a custom polo tall? It depends on what you want, and I'll do this pretty quick just so I don't take away from the questions that everybody has here. So it kind of depends on what you want on it. So let's see. Back to the old website here. So if you go, well, not my cart. If you go to the clothes here and you go over to the last page, there should be a custom, well, there was. Oh, there it is. Yeah, custom tee requests. That's generally about where you can go. But that's usually for just t-shirts. If it's a polo, it'll probably be like, instead of $19.99, it'll probably be like $24.99, because those shirts cost a whole lot more per. So I kind of have to incorporate that. So it would probably be $25 if you want like a Dogecoin polo or something like that. Let's see. Is the bleeding over? I think it is over. That's just my personal opinion. I really do think it is about over. I think this was just an overreaction, and then we hit a bottom here. Everyone started to buy that dip up, and now we're going to start to recover and start to do a continuation of the uptrend. That's my personal opinion. But still, like I said, I would just go ahead and start buying this dip. We're already, when I said that about a minute ago, we were sitting at Dogecoin 2506. Now we're at 2520, 2530 and counting. I would start to buy this up just like everybody else is. They're kind of doing the right thing here, but I would not 100% all in with all the rest of my money I had sitting on the side. I would buy it like it is on sale, but consider it might go further down. So just play it smart and always have more capital. Yeah, no problem, Juan. Just let me know if you ever need anything, man. I'll hook you up. Any updates from Elon with Dogecoin? So Elon is just continuing to be really, really active. As far as today is concerned, I did not notice anything quite yet with Elon Musk and Dogecoin, but let's go take a quick look. Let's see. Not looking like, yeah, nothing today. But again, yesterday, and 2 days ago, there was a lot of activity on Twitter where people were talking about the 1.14.5 Dogecoin update that's lowering transaction fees and everything, and how that's live already. And he was being really, really active and, just telling people that, that update is really important. And each time that he says that, and here's another example, November 8th, someone tweeted about it and he said right here, important, again. And he's been saying this for the last couple months each time this Dogecoin update is brought up. This is kind of the biggest signal as far as if we have any kind of insight from Elon Musk on when is kind of the time where the Dogecoin for Tesla announcement should be coming. It's based off Elon Musk continually emphasizing how important this update is with the reduction of transaction fees. So as soon as the majority of nodes are running this update and that fee just kind of becomes the default, which I still don't think it is quite yet, then I think we're only about a month or two out from an actual a Dogecoin for Tesla announcement from Elon or less. Another thing to support that is that it's actually the article that you sent in Discord. We had talked about it on stream the day before you sent it as well. But on top of that, Elon Musk, not Elon, but on Tesla's website, someone did discover there was in development, kind of in the code, there was an option to make payments when you're checking out to purchase a vehicle with crypto. And there were two different cryptocurrencies. One said Bitcoin and the other one said Shiba. And he did some more digging, or someone else did some more digging and figured out that Shiba was actually the code name for Dogecoin, and Dogecoin was the underlying asset because he was able to move forward in the process. And then the price of what was codenamed Shiba was 27 cents each, which was the exact price of Dogecoin at that moment. So that's how he was able to tie it back. So there was some confirmation that Bitcoin and Dogecoin are going to be going live probably at the same time, and we can put those pieces together because they were being coded together at the same time for that code update. They will probably go back live at the same time. So we'll get Bitcoin back for Tesla, and then we'll also get Dogecoin for Tesla in addition to that. And what that's really going to do is make Dogecoin go absolutely insane, because Dogecoin's going to be able to ride the up wave here of Bitcoin taking off like a rocket when Bitcoin goes back live for Tesla. And so that's probably one of the best ways, one of the best things that could have happened. The only other thing that could happen here is that we actually get Robinhood wallets first, and then the announcement happened. That's absolute best case scenario. Second best case scenario is that, wallets aren't here quite yet, but Bitcoin and Dogecoin kind of go live at the same time. And that will really help Dogecoin out, because a lot of people have kind of started to develop the mentality. And at this point, I'm just kind of talking to everybody here. And feel free, if you got any more questions, feel free to ask them. A lot of people are starting to develop the mentality that, Dogecoin is dead. SHIB is the new coin to invest in if you want some stable gains, because Dogecoin's not volatile anymore. What's going to happen is that with Bitcoin being re-announced for Tesla, we know what it being removed from Tesla was capable of doing, crashing the price down from 60 with a little bit of help from China right about here, all the way down to 29,000, which cut the price in half. At this point, a little bit of a boost from Tesla re-announcing Bitcoin for Tesla can help us rocket all the way up to that 100K price target that we're kind of on track to hit, but we're moving a little slow. That'll help propel us there. Then Dogecoin's going to start to follow and move up on its own. Now, with Dogecoin, and since Dogecoin's already going to start to be moving up off Bitcoin coming back to Tesla, people are going to start to look at Dogecoin again and say, oh, maybe it isn't dead. Now, if you also throw Dogecoin for Tesla into that mix, then you actually get some additional hype for Dogecoin on top of Dogecoin already moving up. And so it's going to put everybody in a better frame of mind to buy it up even faster and even more. And so I think that'll help Dogecoin move a lot more than if it was just one or the other. So hopefully that made sense. I was trying to explain it the best I could. John Tremblay says New York Times reports Evergrande meets another interest payment. Okay. Well, that could be good as far as keeping the price from continuing to fall. We'll see. Because another one said that they defaulted, and another one mentioned bankruptcy filing. I will say it's probably going to be a roller coaster over through the rest of the evening and then overnight. So I'm getting a little tongue-tied. It's probably going to be a bit of a roller coaster as far as the price is concerned. Some ups, some downs, and some sideways trading as well, as people try to protect themselves. There's a lot of whales that are day trading and scalping and just making hundreds of thousands of dollars per day, just using leverage and going long and short. And they are doing a lot of work here, manipulating the market. And so we're probably going to see a lot of volatility here as they're deciding whether or not to go long or short. If we go to whale trades here, finally, this will be kind of the last thing before we wrap up. We can go to the whale trades Twitter account and just kind of see what the whales are doing. Looks like most of them are still going short. I only see a couple longs here. 90% of the trading activity over this last hour up until now is short. I would say even 95%. I'm hardly seeing any long activity here, so they are still going short. There could still be a little bit more selling off, but while they're going short, there's also a bit of we're stabilizing a little bit. But then you can also see from a patterns point of view, we're developing a bit of a triangle here. It doesn't have to be neat. You can see kind of the idea. We are triangling just a bit. So we're going to consolidate in this triangle, and we're going to break out to one side or the other. Typically, when you break out of a triangle, that's the direction that the rest of the move is going to move to. And this could be a continuation consolidation here. So we have a downtrend. We start the triangle here. We fall out the bottom, and then we have a continuation. And hopefully, if that does happen, we stop in this orange box, which is somewhere in between $59,000 and $61,000 Bitcoin. If we fall below that, I'll go live again because we're going to have to talk about some more things and prepare to really buy the dip here. But after that, then you can look at the we'd have to throw some more EMAs up because we only have the 200 up here. We would have to throw up the 100 and the 50 and start looking at it from this point of view. So on the daily time frame, you can see there's support there at about 58K. You can also see right here, there's the bottom wicks here, and there's resistance. If you go back, you'll see kind of the same thing over there at 58. So that's going to be one potential stopping point. If we continue to fall under 60K, what's on the 4-hour here? Yeah, so that's kind of the limit. I don't think we're going under 58, but we'll see. Mariano always on top of his game. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you for informing us as always. I don't see anyone else on YouTube posting about today's sell-off. Really, that is a bit surprising. I know Matt did go live though. Credit to Matt's market. But thank you, Laura. I appreciate it. And I think that will about do it. Let me just give you guys another minute in case anyone has any questions before I go. Don't forget, guys, subscribe if you have not and click that like button. It does help out the channel a lot and help with the YouTube algorithm. Very difficult to beat the algorithm. Let's see. See if Mr. Plan B 100 trillion USD has anything to say. Wait a minute, please do not ask. Let's see. Leveraged longs liquidated and go. That's not really a good thing. I mean, it kind of is, because the whales, they get to reset, get a pullback, and then they get to reload up even more. So it could be a good thing, but I mean, screwing over the people that are helping the long movement is, in my opinion, never a good thing. Yep, Bitcoin is recovering. That's why I was just saying, regardless of what's going to happen next, it's most likely that we're going to continue up, and even more likely that regardless of what happens today and tomorrow, that by the end of next week we'll be substantially higher than we are now on Dogecoin, ETH, Cardano, and Bitcoin. So it makes most sense to just start buying it up and instead of thinking about panic selling and then buying a dip, but just start buying some more at the discounts before it goes back up. That would be the better move. Ethereum's already back up to 4,600. Let's see, Dogecoin is back up to 25.5, already up half a cent since we started kind of talking on the stream. So that's good. And then we've got Bitcoin here already sitting at 64,000. Good for it. It was at about 63,000 when we kind of started talking. And then we've got what was the last one? Cardano. Let's see how it's doing. Cardano is sitting up at, it was 206, now it's 209. Not very far, but as long as Bitcoin continues up from here and goes out the top side of the triangle, these guys will move up. But just be careful when you're buying this dip. Again, put in a little bit of money, keep an eye on it, keep an eye on which way that Bitcoin breaks out here, right? Because you don't want to load up here or right here and then it kind of fake you out and then you don't have any more capital. Just gradually, just be patient. You're already mostly in. Start loading up some more in whichever direction it goes, gradually. Safest way to play it. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's stream. Looks like Bitcoin's about to take off like a rocket, so good for it. Does look like the top side's the way we're going, and if that does happen, we should be moving back up pretty fast here and recovering. So everything's looking all right. Thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you guys in the next stream.